Welcome to Wilderness Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about how to build a solar oven. In order to build a solar still, we're going to need a few supplies. So to start, we need a pizza box or some box with a lid that lifts up. We need some tin foil, some plastic wrap, a glue stick, tape, or tape would work in place of a glue stick as well, probably. A craft knife or some scissors, or both. And some black paper. We're going to use this still today to make some s'mores. Oven. It's an oven, not a still. If you have a boring box, like I do, you may want to consider coloring it. So I'm going to do that. First, you could draw a line to be your guide for what's going to be your lid of your oven. And then I'm going to go to town coloring this bad boy. Alright, here's my decorated box. I've got our Summers saying here, Kyriakis logo, flowers, a wave that reminds me of the lake. And now, I'm gonna cut out this lid. So I want this bottom part here to stay attached to the lid so that it opens almost like its own lid. So, there we go, so that it'll pop open and still be attached down here, and then it'll show the inside of my oven, just like this. Okay, then I'm gonna glue down my paper. First I want to see what fits best. Yeah, I think I can layer that in. If you have a smaller box or a different size, obviously you can cut the paper. But this is a great use for some black paper. Oh dear. Turns out my glue stick is completely dried up. So I guess I'm taping it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can use tape to make this work. So we have some tape here. You can use Scotch tape or duct tape as well, but this is what I had on hand. So you take your piece of tape and then you fold it up. You fold the ends onto each other so they stick together, and then you have some double-sided tape. You can stick that down. And I'm actually going to put some tape here just to keep that down. So the purpose of putting the black paper in there is that that's going to absorb, black absorbs heat really well. So it's going to help the inside of the oven heat up and stay warm. And then that'll heat up whatever we're cooking, which today is going to be s'mores. I wouldn't recommend using this to cook real things that need to be cooked, but to melt things, I think it's an excellent device. The other thing to think about is that it's going to work best on a bright, hot, sunny day, and since that's what it is today, gonna do my best to make it happen. Our next step here is to take our tin foil and stick it on to the lid portion. One thing to note is you want the shiny side to be facing outwards so that it reflects the sun down into your oven, because this is where your food is going to be. So, oh wow, I got a lot more tinfoil than I needed. Nice, cool. Okay, so I think I'll tape this on as well. Normally I would have glued it so that I had maximum shininess, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Yay! So I just lined it up there, make it fit. Oh yeah, beautiful. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna take my tape again and I'll show you this double-sided again. So I've ripped my piece of tape. I have the sticky side facing out. Then I fold over so the sticky side comes out again, and fold over the other side, and then it's sticky on both sides. The closer you tape it to the edge, the more of a good straight line you're gonna get. Okay, so remember, we're sticking, so see how most tinfoils have a dull side, which is this one, and then a nice bright shiny side. We're gonna stick the dull side to the tape and face the shiny side out. Okay, now here's the thing. Pressure's on. I'm gonna try to line up the top the best. So if I line up the top here, and then I'll flatten everything else out nicely, stick it to the tape. Oh yeah, that worked beautifully. You could really do this in any order. I'm just choosing how I'm feeling about doing it. So now I am going to use the, oh yes, I guess this does need to be cut to fit. So give me a second here. So now I'm going to put the plastic wrap in this, or over this gap, so that it holds in the heat nicely into the box. So in order to do that, take the plastic wrap off the roll, maybe. Oh, plastic wrap, you're so funny and sticky and a little bit annoying. So, okay, I think this is gonna cover the whole rest. This way, boom, rip. This can be kind of annoying to work with, so do not be afraid to ask for help. Okay, excellent. So I have that placed down. So I want to try to make it as flat a surface as possible so it's not dipping into my box and getting in all my melty, delicious food. So maybe I will tape down one edge. And again, I want to try to make it airtight so that the hot air isn't escaping too much, because otherwise my food's not going to cook. I'm going to lay my tape down along the edge of the plastic wrap. See, like this, it's picking up the plastic wrap, and then I'm going to stick it where I want that edge to start. Oh, it's beautiful. Uh-oh, I have a loose edge. Okay, fixed it. All right, so here we have a gorgeous little plastic wrapped oven. So the food will be underneath this plastic wrap. Then we have our lid, so the sun will reflect off of the tin foil and into the oven. So you'll need to hold this, you don't personally need to hold it, but you'll need something that'll hold the lid so that it angles, the sun hits it and it points down into the oven to help heat it up. Now I have this extra piece of cardboard, which I'm actually gonna cut. You could use a stick or a pencil or a piece of cardboard like I'm using. Really anything that's sort of solid that you could attach. Here's where my knife or cutting thing comes in handy, but you can certainly use scissors. I'm gonna make a little hole in the cardboard. Again, no idea if this is gonna work well, but I made a little slot big enough to stick this cardboard in. And then, yeah, I think I'll do the same on the lid. Although, actually, I don't know how well that's gonna work. So, this is called trial and error, and we're gonna learn by doing here today. I'm gonna choose what angle I want this to sit at, and then I'm gonna bend the cardboard around the edge of this lid so that it kind of holds it in place. And then, I hope, yeah, I think that's a good angle, and then I can tape this right on there. Covers up my art a little bit, but you know what? The food is the most important art that's gonna be made out of this. Okay, so here's my little oven, and I'm gonna get the ingredients I need now to make some nice little melty s'mores. Here we go. All right, I've got my s'more ingredients here. My chocolate chips is what I'm using because I just didn't have a chocolate bar ready to go. I've got some graham wafers and some marshmallows, but you know, feel free to get creative with whatever you have available to make s'mores. Now, you put your ingredients in on the black part of the oven, the black paper part, and then I just washed my hands so that these will be nice and clean and safe to eat, all that good stuff. Then close her up. Oh yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside. And then you set it out in a sunny spot so the sun's hitting it, reflecting off, going down onto the marshmallows, and when the marshmallows have puffed up and the chocolate has melted, then you know your s'mores are ready to go. Alright, so I had to move everything to a brighter location because it was not quite sunny enough where I was, but all the chocolate chips melted up really nicely, and the marshmallows got a little bit puffier, but they're really old marshmallows, so I think they could have done better if they were fresher, but let's give them a try. Opening up. Oh, it's really warm in there. Maybe I'll leave these where it's hot still. See how the rest do. I actually picked some raspberries. I'm gonna add those to my little, oh yeah. Check it out. Oh, this marshmallow is actually getting nice and crispy on the outside. Okay, gonna spread the chocolate around a little. It's nice and melty. Yes, I think these marshmallows would have done better if they were fresher, because they're just a little too dry. Oh, but it still is nice and stretchy and gooey on the inside. It was a little more work than to make a normal s'more. It took about, I don't know, an hour I think it was in there for. Perhaps if I had started like earlier in the day, because it's currently almost 4 o'clock, if I had started earlier in the day it probably would have gone a little faster, been a little easier, but it's still so much fun. And look what I made out of it. It's the best. Thanks for watching today, and please join Eleanor on Friday at 2 p.m. for her Craft Friday. And remember, in God's wilderness we are set apart but still together. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.